What's up, guys? It's been a long time since I've done a video update on this truck, but I have successfully CPI swapped it. Still working out the kinks, and one of the kinks is getting the AC working. I put it all together, put the AC leak detecting in there, pulled a vacuum on it, and it wouldn't hold vacuum. I went ahead and tried to gas it up with my fingers crossed, but it didn't hold, so that was a waste of money. Mine is leaking right around where the outside of the compressor and the inside of the compressor meet. It's also leaking right here. I might be able to get that to show up. This is the UV light, just like a little flashlight. Click it on. It's kind of purple. If you can see right there, that green that's showing up, that is the UV leak detectant. So I definitely have a leak right there. Let's see if you can see it around here. It was bubbling out of there. Looks like it's not now. You might be able to see some remnants of green. I wish I had it on video. It was literally leaking all throughout that crack, several inches of it right here. So that's a little demonstration on the UV light. Usually when you're working on your AC system, the basic things that are gonna leak is O-rings. And there's gonna be one in here, one in here. My sensor right here was leaking. I had to tighten it down a little bit more, but it held. Down there on that fitting, and as well as an orifice inside there when you take that line off. Now, the other end of that line on mine is in very bad shape. I like to document that, how pinched it is right down there. I was gonna replace it, but the parts store couldn't get it for me, and went ahead and put it on there, and it doesn't leak. I've checked it. There is gaskets on the back of here that sometimes leak. So yeah, that's the basics of where you're gonna have a leak at. There's two lines that goes on the condenser. Both of them right there. So Elizabeth's on her way back to bring me some food, a new AC compressor, some more UV leak detectant because I used all of that other can, and I'm going to check over the Bravado while she's here. But quick rundown on this thing. I did a lot to it while it was down. I wish I would have cleaned this engine up a little bit better. It's pretty grimy. It's just how it was when it came out, and pretty much threw this truck together with a bunch of parts that I already had. Anyways, that's irrelevant. Remanufactured transmission, 1995 CPI out of a Blazer me and Bryce bought. A 96 to 97 Blazer front end swap. A front bumper off of the Blazer me and Bryce had. AC box. Did a lot of painting in here. Didn't quite get finished taking all this apart because I'm gonna change that fender. I put another set of wheels on it. These wheels are ProComp 1079s. There's 1069s, and they don't have the rivets and indentions right there. So that makes this one a ProComp 1079. And I used my tires that I've had on this truck for a long time, just swapped them over to these wheels. The NV3500 set further back than the HM290 that came factory in this truck. Sorry for the mess, I've got a lot going on. So my bezel that was here wouldn't fit because my shifter was right where it went. So I'm gonna come up with some sort of contraption to make this work. But besides that, the interior is about the same. I threw that on there. Don't get mad at me, this piece already had holes in it. So I've got a cup holder now. I wasn't able to use my cup holder, let that be noted. When I swapped to the NV3500 and the shifter was pushed further back, I'm not able to use the bench seat cup holder. I did a lot of painting on the frame to mess back here right now. You might be able to see it there. Dirty as hell. Brand new Flowmaster high flow catalytic converter. Black Widow Venom 300, and ran all the way back to right here. Highly recommend it. I'll put some inserts here on how it sounds. definitely in the button-up phase right now. It runs and drives, but I've been working out kinks like brake lights, turning signals, AC, blower motor, lots of different things. Brand new motor mounts, brand new transmission mount, radiator out of the Blazer me and Bryce had. I've got electric fans to go on it. I've got a cowl hood to go on it. Got all kinds of stuff to do to this thing. But it's important that it's at the running driving phase now. I use this truck to run around and do work, so gotta have it going. That was the main focus. All right, so Elizabeth should be here sometime soon, and I'll eat and get started on this AC. Another way you can tell if you've got a leak in your system before you dive into pulling and replacing parts is renting a vacuum pump and some hoses. You hook the hoses up to your high and low side on your AC system. You'll open your valves. You'll connect this yellow one to your vacuum, and once you flip the vacuum on, it starts sucking on the system, and from my experience, it'll pull it down to almost 30 psi of vacuum. Once you've pulled a vacuum on it for several minutes or maybe even an hour, close off your valves and turn your vacuum off, and watch your gauge over the period of maybe half an hour, maybe even longer if you're suspicious of a slow leak. And then see if that needle drops down any. If it does drop down some, you've got a leak. If it holds, you're good to go and ready to gas up the Freon. But we'll get to that later. We're gonna use those today. I just wanted to mention that before we got diving in and you started pulling parts. So here is my new compressor. This did not come with a high side pressure switch. It also came with new hose gaskets. These will go in here. Here is another very important thing to note when dealing with new compressors or remanufactured. This is actually a reman. Important to note is the first sentence on this tag. This compressor is pre-charged with 3 ounces of oil. If you get a compressor and it doesn't have any oil in it, you have got to get some compressor oil and put in there. That lubricates the system and keeps it from wearing itself out. Over here, I've already taken off my hoses that goes to the back of the compressor, and I've also unplugged the connectors that go to the compressor. This is a clutch activation switch right here. This is a high side pressure switch back there. Looks to me like there's 3 bolts holding it on. One here, one down underneath there, you can't see it so good, and another one right here. But before all of that, you're gonna wanna take off the serpentine belt. The AC compressor is reinstalled, got my belt on, got my wires plugged back in, got it attached and sealed up. I've just now hooked up my AC gauge lines to it. Everything should be at 0. I'm now going to turn my vacuum pump on and open up the valves. Hopefully we ain't got no leaks. About 25, 26 PSI right now. Maybe 26 or 27. I'm gonna let that set for a little while to make sure my system is holding the vacuum. Okay, it's been several minutes and it's still about the same PSI. I'm gonna go ahead and close my valves off here and turn the vacuum pump off. Make sure those valves are closed real good. And I'm gonna watch and make sure that that doesn't drop. Okay, it's been about a half an hour. Doesn't look like I've lost any pressure. I'm gonna start with some Freon that's got UV leak detect in there. You want to put that in there before you put all the other Freon in there. There's only a limited amount of space in a AC system. Usually that's somewhere around 2 or 3 cans. So it'd be a good idea to start with this first. So that's what I'm gonna do. But to give you an update on the situation, I've replaced my AC compressor, atmospheric pressure, or it was at atmospheric pressure. And then I pulled a vacuum on there. So right now I've got negative 27 pounds or so in my system. I have this pressurized can of Freon with leak detecting in there. So what's gonna happen is this system is under a vacuum, this is pressurized, and this is what's holding the barrier between the two. So when I crack this loose, that's gonna shoot way up. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna start the engine, turn the AC on, which is not gonna come on because it's not got no pressure in there. And once I start the engine, I'll open these valves up and let it suck that into the system. Engine is running, max AC, blower up, all the way on cold, blowing out. My AC signal is on, but my compressor is not. That is because there's no pressure in there for the system to read. Okay, I forgot to put my valve on here. It's on there now. So now I've got a barrier. This is pressurized, that's vacuumed. I've got a barrier here, and I've got a barrier here. Open this valve up right here. And then I'm gonna open up this valve right here, and it's gonna suck it all in there. Gonna open it all the way up. Okay, so now high side is reading 30-ish. Low side is reading 40. Oh, AC compressor clicked on for just a hair of a second. Now I'm gonna shake this and make sure it all goes in there. There's actually a little window right there. Adding in the third can now. I hear it's a good idea to turn the can upside down and shake it while it's going in there. Another tip is sometimes the AC compressor won't take right off by itself, and you'll have to jump the relay. If you don't know how to do that, look up a video, jumping AC relay. Fairly simple. You just take a wire and jump it to 2 different terminals, and it forces the AC compressor to kick on and suck the Freon down. I'm gonna go give it a test, see how she feels. Woo! Can't wait to go cruising in a minute. Nice and cold. I've heard that you can't tune these CPIs, but if somebody knows different, comment in the description below. I'd love to get a cam and a tune on this thing. All done for now. Picking up my mess. Gonna see how well she holds up. Hopefully there's no long-term leaks. Doesn't seem like there's gonna be any short-term leaks. Gonna get everything picked up and go for a test drive. Here we are running down the road. Windows up. Air blowing cold. Feels good. This is like my first daily driver with functioning AC. And I've been driving for 14 years. Really hoping I don't have any leaks, because this is a luxury. Oh, it feels so good. I actually had to point them up because they're a little too cold blowing on my face. Never thought I'd be complaining about that. Make sure to comment, hit like, subscribe. Check out s10life.org for the most S-Series stuff in one place. We got wiring diagrams, historical information, brochures. We've got new parts. Yep, lots of good stuff on there. Go check it out.